So, so what are some of the largest challenges that are going to be going along with having a hypothetical 100% locally sourced restaurant? That's my dream. When I'm coming here and I'm talking to you, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What do we have to do? What do we have to do? What steps are we having to take as a chef, as consumers, as farmers?
The challenge for the region is, number one, on the producers' ends, they have to extend their season somehow. You know, if they can keep the tomatoes producing into November and get them in May, they cut down on that awful, dreadful rutabaga time of year.
Probably 100% it would be access and consistency.
We have relationship with a whole bunch of restaurants in the Pittsburgh area through Penn's Corner.
We sell wholesale products to, I think it's 20 restaurants, 20 local restaurants.
They buy like a broad assortment of things, but things that do well for us with restaurants in general would be kale has been big for a long time. Any good salad greens.
I also have a relationship with some chefs that participate in our farm events, whether that's catering a wedding, cooking a farm dinner, doing a happy hour. That involves lots of different chefs, local breweries, beverage providers, things like that.
We have lots of relationships with local producers. You know, we do a lot of business with Penn's Corner Farm Alliance, and they're, which you know or probably will know, it's a local cooperative. I was one of the people who helped form the cooperative. I was the first chef. I was the first customer and only customer for the first year, and I think, you know, I bought $5,000 from them. And, we buy from numerous small farmers. Who Cooks For You Farm, One Woman Farm, Garfield Farms, which is a little urban farmlet over here.
Yeah, we have a pretty healthy relationship with a lot of local farmers. I think one thing that's like kind of comical, I guess, at least I find it funny about our restaurant, is that a lot of people see us as more of just like a modern eatery. Like they kind of look at the final product probably a lot more than like the ingredients that we source. And I think that's been indicative of modern food in general, like food that might use a little bit of like a newer technique and things like that. But I think people are constantly surprised when they find out like how much of our products, especially our produce, are sourced locally.
You know, through the different levels of purchasing, you know, we do reach a lot of different local producers, and it's an important part of our program. I say it's important for three reasons. Number one, produce is better. I mean, it's fresher. It's not ripened on a train. It's ripened in the field. Number two, it reduces theoretically the carbon footprint of us in the world. I believe in supporting the people of the region. I mean, if I buy from Farmer Bob and he makes more money every year, he can go buy a new truck, and the guy who owns a truck dealership might come in for a dinner.
I think buying local and seasonal is important because I like the idea of keeping money close. You know, like you're saying, food coming from anywhere in the world, like that means some of the money that you're spending is getting shipped to that part of the world. So for a strong local economy, I think it's really nice. And seasonality is really important to me. I definitely eat seasonally. I mean, how could I not, really? But the food tastes better in season. I don't want a fresh tomato right now. I have no interest because it's not going to taste like the one I get in 6 months. And with the health benefits of something being picked right, and in season it's just going to be, it's not the same zucchini in January and in August.
We don't change the menu quote unquote seasonally here. We change the menu when we get really, really excited about new local products that excite us. So like, you know, once the first asparagus hits, the menu will change slightly. So like the menu isn't changed seasonally as much as it is like constantly in flux with like the products that we can find and take in, and the products that we can kind of like, and the dishes that we can make out of them. It's almost like philosophical in a way. Like as soon as it's available, we'll do something with it, you know, and like sell it basically. But I think one thing you see that's like a huge conundrum with that is too is like, you know, it'll be warm for 2 months and it'll be June and people will want heirloom tomatoes, even though locally we're probably not going to be able to get any. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of comes back to like education and kind of like, you know, letting, you know, your clientele know like we're going to wait until these ingredients are at their peak to be able to serve them for you.
I think restaurants mostly get their food from large distributors for the price, for the convenience, because that's the way that people have kind of gotten in the habit of doing things. They don't do it to get the best product.
I mean, I'm unapologetically, like we buy from a broadliner. Obviously, if money wasn't an issue, we would meticulously buy everything local. But I mean, I think the advantages of buying broadline products like celery, carrots, onions, like all the fundamentals and the basis is 100% consistency.
Sometimes buying local is difficult too, because where we are just isn't conducive to producing locally that thing that's good. So, like I said, about 25% for the year for all food, which is really good.
That is good.
And it's an honest number. People will tell you they do more and they're lying.
One of the reasons I wanted this greenhouse was not just to start all of our seedlings, but to be able to grow during the winter. My carpenter made these benches so that they can be flipped over, slats added, and turned into raised beds. So these will all be raised bed growing space for the winter for herbs, greens, lettuces, small roots like turnips and radish, things like that.
With our greenhouse, we've got propane heating and thermostat connected to a vent system, so it's not going to get too hot, it's not going to get too cold. Hoop houses are trickier. We have no electricity with our hoop houses. It's all passive solar, so it doesn't matter how bundled up your vegetables are. If there's no sun, there's no heat whatsoever.
Not only with the space in the greenhouse, but with using low tunnels in combination with the frost protection, Agribon, and greenhouse plastic covering. We hope to get a high tunnel in this year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but obviously a high tunnel will dramatically increase our ability to supply a restaurant.
If we had a much more cosmopolitan area with a lot more population, and there was a lot more sort of the high-end foodie dining people, a small, real farm-to-table restaurant could be doable, because you have to have people that are willing to go buy that.
I think it could be done. You'd focus a lot less on warm season crops, and a lot of what you'd be growing, you would have the intention of putting in storage. So you'd be doing parsnips, carrots, potatoes, turnips, onions, winter radishes.
I think people would be super supportive of it. I don't necessarily. I'm a little, I guess, skeptical of our clientele understanding the weight and the importance of it.
Yeah.
I would love to do it. I'd love to be able to access it all. I'd love to be able to charge the amount of money to make my business make at least a little bit of money and still serve a fantastic product and still not scare people away. But I mean, it's all part of the game though. I think there's a lot of, for lack of a better term, there's a lot of romance involved in it. You know what I mean? And like sourcing locally and things like that. But I think it's doable. But I think anything is really doable if you can charge the right amount of money for it, right? And so the more that we can become organized, I think as chefs trying to buy things, and I think farmers meet us halfway with the organization, I think it's definitely a possibility.
Most of the chefs that I work with, there is at least 1 or 2 products I have that I am growing specifically for them because they asked. There's a really great back and forth. I learn a lot from them. They learn a lot from me. I like having that kind of relationship. Again, it's really valuable for me, and I think it's valuable for them.
Pittsburgh, it's a different world.
It is.